Have you ever met someone who seemed to step out of a dream? Their words wrapping around your heart like a warm embrace, only to leave you questioning your own reality months later. Picture this. You're sitting across from someone who feels like they've known you forever. They laugh at your jokes, mirror your passions, and make you feel like the center of their universe. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, that warmth turns cold. Your confidence erodes, your peace fractures, and you're left wondering, was it me? Did I miss something? This isn't just a fleeting moment of doubt, it's a warning. A signal that you might be standing in the presence of someone dangerous. Not to your body, but to your mind, your spirit, your very sense of self. Welcome to ZENLIGHT, where we dive deep into the truths that protect your peace and empower your growth. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on 7 subtle but unmistakable signs of a psychopath. Someone who doesn't just disrupt your life, but dismantles it from the inside out. This isn't about fear. It's about clarity. It's about arming you with the wisdom to recognize manipulation before it takes root and the tools to reclaim your strength. Stick with us through this journey, because by the end, you won't just see these signs. You'll know exactly how to act on them in your life today. Let's begin with the first sign, one so seductive it's often mistaken for love, for connection, for destiny itself. Superficial charm and strategic likability. Imagine meeting someone who feels like they were custom-made for you. They walk into your life with a smile that lights up the room, their eyes locked on yours as if you're the only person who matters. Within minutes, they're finishing your sentences, laughing at your quirky love for 90s grunge music, or nodding along as you share your dreams of hiking the Appalachian Trail. It's not just that they listen, they seem to get you, like they've cracked the code to your soul. You think, this is it. This is what connection feels like. But what if that connection isn't a bridge to something real? What if it's a trap, carefully laid to pull you in before you even realize you're caught? Welcome to the first sign of a psychopath, superficial charm and strategic likability. On ZENLIGHT 8, we're not here to scare you, but to wake you up, to help you see through the illusions that threaten your peace. Psychopaths don't announce their intentions with a scowl or a warning. They arrive with flowers, compliments, and a warmth so disarming you'd never suspect it's rehearsed. Their charm isn't a gift. It's a performance, a spotlight trained on you not to illuminate your worth, but to blind you to their motives. Think about Sarah, a graphic designer from Chicago. She met Jake at a networking event, and he seemed like a dream. He praised her portfolio, asked about her favorite coffee shops, and even shared a story about adopting a stray cat, just like she had. Within weeks, they were inseparable. He'd text her poetry, plan spontaneous weekend getaways, and make her feel like she'd finally found someone who saw her. But 3 months in, things shifted. When Sarah set a boundary, needing a night to herself, Jake's warmth vanished. He didn't yell, he just went cold, dismissing her as needy and ungrateful. The man who once seemed to live for her happiness now acted as if she was a burden. That's when Sarah realized his charm wasn't love, it was leverage. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Appearances are not reality." Psychopaths are masters of appearances, crafting a persona that feels like it was made just for you. They don't connect, they mirror. They study your passions, your love for jazz, your late-night runs, your quiet hope to start a small business, and reflect them back with uncanny precision. You mention you volunteer at a local food bank, and suddenly they have a story about feeding the homeless during a snowstorm. You love Rumi's poetry, and next week they're quoting it over dinner at your favorite Thai spot. It feels like fate, but it's not. It's a script, and you're the audience. Their charm is like a perfectly tailored suit, flattering, polished, but ultimately temporary. The moment you question them, say no, or stop serving their needs, the suit comes off. The warmth fades, replaced by a coldness that makes you doubt yourself. Was I too demanding? Did I misread them? This is where the danger lies. Psychopaths don't just charm, they weaponize it. They know your insecurities, the fear of being alone, the need for validation, and they feed them just enough to keep you hooked. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." A psychopath's soul is dyed with calculation, not connection. They don't build relationships. They stage them, adjusting their performance to keep you engaged while they pursue their own agenda. Maybe it's your attention they want, your money, your influence, or simply the thrill of control. Whatever it is, you're not a partner. You're a means to an end. So, how do you protect yourself in today's world, where charm can be a click away on a dating app or a charismatic colleague at work? Start by slowing down. The Stoics teach us to trust reason over emotion, to observe actions over words. If someone's affection feels too perfect, too fast, ask yourself, is their attention consistent, or does it vanish when I set boundaries? Do they respect my needs, or do they subtly punish me for having them? Are they interested in me as a person, or are they mirroring my interests to win me over? In 2025, with social media amplifying polished personas, this skill is more crucial than ever. Take a page from Sarah's story. After Jake's mask slipped, she started journaling her interactions, noting how his charm faded when she asserted herself. That clarity, writing down what you see, feel, and question, can be your shield. It's not paranoia, it's wisdom. The Stoics remind us that we can't control others, but we can control how we respond. If you're caught in a whirlwind of charm that feels too good to be true, pause, step back. Look for patterns, not promises. In a world of curated Instagram profiles and rehearsed TikTok charisma, your gut is your greatest ally. That uneasy feeling when someone's affection feels choreographed, that's not doubt. It's your inner compass pointing you toward truth. Don't ignore it. Protect your peace by trusting yourself first. And as we move forward on ZENLIGHT 8, we'll dive deeper into the second sign, one that doesn't just charm you but rewrites your reality itself. Pathological lying and the distortion of truth. You're holding a cup of coffee, its rich aroma filling the air, the ceramic warm against your palms. You know it's coffee, black, no sugar, just the way you like it. But the person across from you leans in, looks you dead in the eye and says, "That's tea." You laugh, thinking it's a joke, but their face doesn't crack. They double down, calm as a summer morning, insisting it's tea, maybe even suggesting you're confused because you've had a long day. You pause, your grip on the mug tightening. Is it possible you're wrong? That flicker of doubt, that's the moment they've been waiting for. Welcome to the second sign of a psychopath on ZENLIGHT 8. Pathological lying and the distortion of truth. This isn't about the occasional white lie we all tell to spare feelings. This is about a calculated campaign to reshape your reality, to make you question what you know, feel, and see until your own mind feels like foreign territory. Meet Alex, a software engineer from Seattle. He started dating Mia, who seemed like a breath of fresh air, witty, attentive, always ready with a story that matched his own. But over time, strange inconsistencies crept in. She'd promised to meet him after work, then claim she never made the plan. He'd recall a conversation about his fear of failure, only for her to insist, "I never said that. You must be mixing me up with someone else." When he showed her a text proving she'd agreed to a weekend trip, she didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled and said, "You're reading too much into it, Alex. You're always so intense." Slowly, Alex started doubting his memory. He'd lie awake at night, replaying conversations, wondering if he was losing his grip. That's not confusion, that's control. Psychopaths don't just lie. They architect a world where their version of truth reigns supreme. Their lies aren't sloppy or desperate. They're precise, delivered with a confidence that makes you second-guess yourself. They'll deny a promise they made yesterday, rewrite a fight you had last week, or insist an event you both witnessed never happened. And they do it with such conviction that you start to wonder if you're the one who's off. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." But when a psychopath is involved, they make your imagination their playground, twisting your perceptions until you can't tell what's real anymore. This is gaslighting, a term that's become common in 2025 but is often misunderstood. It's not just disagreement, It's a deliberate erosion of your trust in yourself. What makes this sign so dangerous is its subtlety. Psychopaths don't need to lie about big things to destabilize you. They'll lie about small, inconsequential details, where they were last night, what they had for lunch, because the goal isn't to cover their tracks. It's to train you to doubt. Over time, these small lies stack up, creating a fog of confusion that clouds your clarity. You start apologizing for things you didn't do, explaining reactions you didn't have, defending memories you know are true. And the more you try to clarify, the deeper you sink into their trap. They might even use triangulation, telling your friend Lisa that you complained about her work ethic, then telling you Lisa thinks you're unreliable. Suddenly you're caught in a web of manufactured conflict, and they're the only one who seems to have the full story. The Stoics teach us to anchor ourselves in reason, to seek truth above all else. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can prove me wrong, I'll gladly change, for I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." But psychopaths don't seek truth. They seek dominance. Truth is a tool to bend, an obstacle to sidestep. When Alex finally confronted Mia with evidence, a screenshot of her text, she didn't admit fault. Instead, she turned it back on him, saying, "Why are you so obsessed with proving me wrong? Don't you trust me?" That's the playbook. Deflect, project, attack. And it works because it's exhausting. You don't just lose the argument, you lose your energy, your confidence, your sense of self. So, how do you fight back in a world where lies can spread faster than a viral TikTok? Start by reclaiming your reality. Keep a journal, like Alex did, to record conversations and commitments. Not to obsess, but to ground yourself in facts. When doubt creeps in, check your notes, not their narrative. In 2025, with AI chatbots and deepfake voices making deception easier, this practice is your lifeline. Next, trust your body. That knot in your stomach, that racing pulse when they deny what you know is true. That's not anxiety. It's your intuition screaming for attention. The Stoics believed our instincts often see what our minds haven't yet processed. Listen to them. Finally, set boundaries early. If someone dismisses your reality, don't argue, observe. Notice how they react when you hold firm. Do they escalate, deflect, or do they respect your perspective? In today's fast-paced world, where we're bombarded with information and expectations, protecting your mind is an act of rebellion. You don't owe anyone your trust until they've earned it through consistent actions, not just smooth words. As Epictetus reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If you're feeling lost in someone else's version of truth, step back, write it down, trust your gut, and hold fast to what you know is real. Because when you do, you're not just surviving their lies, you're reclaiming your power. As we continue this journey on ZENLIGHT, we'll explore the third sign, one that cuts deeper than lies, straight to the heart of what makes us human. A chilling lack of empathy and emotional depth. There's a moment in every deep connection where you bare your soul, where you let someone see the raw, unfiltered parts of you, your fears, your joys, your quiet dreams. Maybe you're sitting on a park bench, the autumn leaves falling around you, sharing the weight of a recent loss. Your voice trembles, your heart open, and you look to the person beside you, expecting not just words but presence, a shared humanity that says, "I feel this with you." But what if, instead, they tilt their head, offer a rehearsed, "I'm so sorry," and shift the conversation to their weekend plans? That hollowness, that absence of warmth, isn't just a misstep, it's a revelation. Welcome to the third sign of a psychopath on ZENLIGHT. A profound lack of empathy and emotional depth. This isn't about someone who's just bad at feelings. It's about someone who observes your emotions like a scientist studying a specimen, calculating but never connecting, performing care but never feeling it. Consider Emily, a teacher from Denver. She met Tom through mutual friends, drawn to his quiet confidence and attentive nature. When she opened up about her struggles with anxiety, he listened intently, nodding, even offering advice that seemed wise. But over time, she noticed something unsettling. When she cried after a tough day, he'd watch her with a blank stare, then change the subject. When she shared her joy about a student's breakthrough, he'd nod but seem bored, like he was waiting for his turn to speak. The final straw came when her father passed away. She poured her heart out, expecting comfort, but Tom responded with a cold, "You'll get over it. Life goes on." That wasn't insensitivity, it was an emotional void. Psychopaths don't feel the way you do. They can mimic emotions, smile at your joy, frown at your pain, but it's all surface level, a performance honed by years of studying human behavior. They're like actors who know their lines but never inhabit the role. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." The Stoics believed we're connected, that our humanity thrives in shared compassion. But psychopaths don't see the hive. They see only themselves, and everyone else is a tool, a resource to be used or discarded. Their lack of empathy isn't a flaw, it's a feature. They can study your emotional language, mimic your tears, or offer grand gestures of care, but it's all calculated to keep you invested. The danger comes when you trust that performance, when you share your deepest vulnerabilities, only to find them weaponized later. Emily learned this the hard way, when Tom used her anxiety against her in an argument, calling her too fragile to handle real life. Your pain, your fears, your heart, they're not sacred to a psychopath, they're ammunition. This emotional absence isn't just cold, it's strategic. They know how to play the part of a caring friend, partner, or colleague until the moment you need them most. Then, when life gets heavy, when you lose a job, face a breakup, or grieve a loss, they vanish, or worse, they mock your neediness. In 2025, with mental health conversations more open than ever, this trait is harder to spot. They might use therapy speak, tossing around terms like self-care or boundaries, but their actions betray them. They don't comfort, they analyze, they don't connect, they observe. And when you call them out, they'll flip the script, saying, "You're too sensitive," or "I was just joking, lighten up." That's not carelessness. It's cruelty dressed up as candor. So, how do you protect your heart in a world where emotional intelligence is celebrated but often faked? The Stoics teach us to live in harmony with virtue, to value connection rooted in truth. Start by noticing the gaps. Does their kindness feel timed, like it's tied to what they can gain? Do they pull away when you're vulnerable, or worse, use your pain against you? Do you feel lonelier after sharing your heart than before? Emily started keeping a trust journal, noting moments when Tom's responses felt off. Over weeks, the pattern was clear. His care was conditional, present only when it served him. That clarity gave her the strength to walk away. You can do the same. In today's world, where we're encouraged to be open and vulnerable, protect your inner world. Share it with those who've earned your trust through consistent, reciprocal care. Not just words, but actions that show they feel with you. Another practical step is to test their emotional presence. Share a small vulnerability, a worry about work, a hope for the future, and watch their response. Do they engage, or do they deflect? Do they ask questions, or do they pivot to themselves? The Stoics remind us that true connection requires mutual investment, not one-sided performance. If you're giving your heart and getting nothing but echoes, that's not a relationship, it's a stage. And you don't have to play the supporting role. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Your emotions are yours to guard, not theirs to exploit. If you sense that void behind their mask, don't try to fill it. Step back, observe, and choose your peace over their performance. As we move deeper into this journey on ZENLIGHT 8, we'll uncover the fourth sign, one that reveals not just their indifference, but their deliberate intent to harm. Zero remorse and the cycle of intentional damage. There's a moment that changes everything. A moment when you realize the person you trusted isn't just flawed but dangerous. It's not when they hurt you. Everyone makes mistakes. It's when you look into their eyes after they've wounded you deeply, expecting some flicker of regret, and see nothing but indifference. No guilt, no pause, no whisper of accountability. Instead, they shrug, maybe even smile and move on as if your pain is a minor inconvenience. That emptiness isn't a misunderstanding, it's a warning. Welcome to the fourth sign of a psychopath on ZENLIGHT: zero remorse and a relentless cycle of intentional harm. This isn't about someone who apologizes but doesn't change. This is about someone who doesn't even see your pain as something worth acknowledging, because to them, it's not a mistake, it's a strategy. Take Michael, a small business owner from Austin. He hired Rachel as a partner, drawn by her energy and vision for their startup. At first, she was a dream, pitching ideas, charming clients, pushing the company forward. But soon, cracks appeared. She'd miss deadlines, blame Michael for her oversights, and dismiss his concerns with a laugh. When a major client left because of her mistake, costing them thousands, Michael confronted her, expecting an apology. Instead, Rachel rolled her eyes and said, "You're blowing this out of proportion. They weren't that important anyway." Months later, he caught her funneling company funds into her personal account. When he demanded an explanation, she didn't flinch. "You should have been clearer about the budget," she said, turning the blame back on him. That wasn't carelessness, it was a calculated betrayal, and she felt nothing. Psychopaths don't just hurt you, they normalize the damage. For most of us, causing pain triggers a pang of conscience, a need to make things right. But for a psychopath, that inner voice is silent. They break trust, then act offended when you call them out. They manipulate, then call you dramatic for reacting. They wound you, then watch you scramble to clean up the mess, all while blaming you for the fallout. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." But how do you respond when the person who hurt you doesn't even see it as harm? Their lack of remorse isn't just a trait, it's a weapon designed to keep you questioning your worth, your reality, your right to feel. What makes this sign so chilling is the repetition. Psychopaths don't harm once and move on. They follow a cycle: idealize, exploit, discard. They pull you in with praise, drain you of your energy or resources, then walk away without a backward glance. Michael saw this pattern too late. Rachel had charmed him, used his trust to gain access to his business, then left him to deal with the wreckage when her schemes unraveled. And when he tried to hold her accountable, she didn't defend herself. She attacked, accusing him of being too controlling and paranoid. That's the playbook: harm, deny, deflect. And it works because it's relentless. You end up apologizing for their wrongs, explaining your pain as if it's your fault, doubting your own instincts because they've convinced you you're the problem. In 2025, this cycle is amplified by our hyper-connected world. A psychopath might ghost you after draining your savings, then pop up on LinkedIn with a polished new persona, untarnished by the chaos they left behind. They don't reflect, they reinvent. The Stoics teach us that remorse is a sign of moral clarity, a compass that guides us toward virtue. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Psychopaths exploit this by reshaping your opinions, making you believe their harm is your fault. But here's the truth: your pain is real, and their indifference is the proof. Their lack of remorse isn't a glitch, it's the core of who they are. So, how do you break free? Start by recognizing the pattern. If someone consistently harms you, whether it's emotional, financial, or professional, and shows no effort to change, that's not a misunderstanding, it's a choice. Keep a record, like Michael did, of every broken promise, every deflected blame. Not to dwell, but to see the cycle clearly. Next, stop seeking their apology. Psychopaths don't offer closure because closure requires empathy, and empathy is a language they don't speak. Instead, focus on your own healing. In today's world where we're encouraged to forgive and move on, remember that forgiveness doesn't mean staying in harm's way. It means choosing your peace over their chaos. Try this. Set a small boundary and watch their reaction. Say no to a request, call out a lie, or ask for accountability. If they lash out, deflect, or turn cold, that's not your failure. It's their reveal. The Stoics remind us that we can't change others, only ourselves. So shift your energy from fixing them to protecting you. Surround yourself with people who own their mistakes, who grow from their missteps, who value your humanity as much as their own. Because true connection isn't about perfection, it's about accountability. If you're caught in this cycle of harm, step back, see the pattern, and choose yourself. As we continue on ZENLIGHT 8, we'll explore the fifth sign, one that doesn't just wound you, but consumes you: the emotional and financial parasite. Some people borrow a book and return it with a thank you. Others ask for a favor and repay it with kindness. But then there are those who don't just take, they consume, draining your energy, your wallet, your very sense of self, until you're left wondering how you gave so much and got nothing in return. This isn't about generosity gone wrong. It's about exploitation dressed up as connection. Welcome to the fifth sign of a psychopath on ZENLIGHT: the emotional and financial parasite. These individuals don't build lives alongside you. They feed off yours, attaching themselves like shadows that grow heavier with every step you take. On this channel, we're here to help you see through the fog, to reclaim your strength, and to build a life rooted in clarity and purpose. Meet Laura, a nurse from Portland. She met David at a community fundraiser where his passion for charity work seemed to match her own. He was charming, attentive, always ready with a story about helping others. When he asked to crash at her place, just for a week after a rough patch, she didn't hesitate. Weeks turned into months. He'd borrow her car, eat her groceries, even ask for cash to tide him over until his next gig. At first, Laura felt good helping someone she cared about. But then David started criticizing her. Her long hours were selfish. Her need for space was cold. When she finally asked him to contribute rent, he didn't argue. He left, taking her savings and leaving a note that read, "You should have trusted me." Laura wasn't just broke. She was broken, questioning her kindness, her judgment, her worth. Psychopaths don't just take, they engineer dependency. They start by idealizing you, making you feel like the most generous, capable, extraordinary person they've ever met. You're their savior, their partner in a shared dream. But that pedestal isn't a place of honor. It's a platform for extraction. Slowly, they shift from gratitude to entitlement. Your time becomes theirs. Your money becomes ours. Your boundaries become obstacles. They frame their demands as mutual goals. "We're building a future together," they say, as they drain your bank account. Or, "I'd do the same for you," as they monopolize your weekends. Epictetus taught, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Psychopaths are the opposite. They want everything, and they believe it's their right to take it. What makes this sign so insidious is their precision. They don't target just anyone. They seek out the kind-hearted, the empathetic, the ones who give without expecting repayment. They find you at your most vulnerable, after a breakup, during a career transition, or when you're grieving a loss. Laura was still reeling from her mother's illness when David entered her life. His charm, a balm for her pain. But that's no coincidence. Psychopaths sense when your defenses are down, when your generosity is most likely to overflow. They don't ask, they infiltrate. And once they're in, they don't stop until they've taken all you're willing to give, and then some. In 2025, this predation is amplified by our interconnected world. A psychopath might slide into your DMs with a sob story, crowdfund their emergency on GoFundMe, or pitch a can't-miss business idea on LinkedIn. The tools have changed, but the game is the same. They take until there's nothing left, then vanish. The Stoics remind us that our resources, our time, our money, our energy, are not infinite. They're sacred, meant to be shared with those who respect them. So how do you protect yourself? Start by setting clear boundaries from the outset. If someone asks for a favor, offer what you can afford to lose, and watch their reaction. Do they respect your limits, or do they push, guilt, or withdraw? Laura learned to say, "I can help with $50, but that's my limit." When David sulked, she saw his true colors. Another tool is to track your giving. Keep a simple ledger, not out of mistrust, but clarity. Note what you've shared, whether it's time, money, or emotional support. If the balance tips heavily one way, that's not generosity, it's exploitation. The Stoics teach us to live with intention, to align our actions with our values. If you value kindness, give it freely, but not recklessly. Surround yourself with people who reciprocate, who build with you, not off you. And if you're already entangled with a parasite, don't wait for them to change. They won't. Cut the cord, not out of cruelty, but self-respect. Laura rebuilt her life by joining a support group, where she found people who valued her without taking from her. You can too. Your kindness is a gift, not a debt. Your resources are yours to steward, not theirs to claim. As Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If someone's taking more than you can give, if their needs always eclipse yours, if you feel smaller in their presence, that's not love, it's theft. Step back, set limits, and choose yourself. Because true connection lifts both sides, not just one. As we move forward on ZENLIGHT 8, we'll uncover the sixth sign, one that leaves chaos in its wake. Impulsivity and a refusal to take responsibility. Some people live life like a wildfire, bright, unpredictable, thrilling to watch. They chase adventure, leap into new ideas, and seem to dance through the world with a freedom most of us envy. But what happens when that wildfire leaves scorched earth behind? When their spontaneity becomes your burden, their chaos your cleanup? This isn't about living boldly, it's about living recklessly at the expense of everyone else. Welcome to the sixth sign of a psychopath on ZENLIGHT: impulsivity and a refusal to take responsibility. These individuals don't just move fast, they leave wreckage in their wake, and they never look back to see the damage. On this channel, we're here to help you see the patterns, protect your peace, and build a life grounded in clarity and purpose. Picture James, a freelance photographer from Miami. He met Sophie at an art gallery where her energy was magnetic. She'd drop everything for a last-minute road trip, pitch wild ideas for a joint project, and live with a spontaneity that felt intoxicating. But soon, her impulsivity showed its dark side. She'd borrow James's camera gear without asking, promising to return it soon. She'd commit to a client shoot, then flake, leaving James to apologize and scramble. When their project collapsed because she missed deadlines, Sophie didn't apologize. She blamed James for not managing her better. Her life was a whirlwind, but James was the one picking up the pieces. Psychopaths crave stimulation like a drug, leaping from job to job, relationship to relationship, city to city, chasing the next high. But unlike most of us, who feel a duty to clean up our messes, they simply walk away, leaving you to pay the price, emotionally, financially, or both. This impulsivity isn't random, it's a lifestyle. Psychopaths thrive on chaos because it keeps them untethered, unaccountable. Routine bores them, commitment suffocates them. So they make promises they can't keep, take risks with your resources, and move on when the consequences catch up. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Psychopaths do the opposite. They don't reflect, they deflect. Every failure is someone else's fault. Their startup tanks, the investors were clueless. Their relationship falls apart. Their partner was too clingy. They get fired. The boss was threatened by their brilliance. And they tell these stories with such charisma, such conviction, that you might start believing them. The danger lies in how their chaos pulls you in. You start covering for them, making excuses to friends, family, or colleagues. You pay their bills, smooth over their conflicts, cushion their falls, until you're not just supporting them, you're enabling them. James found himself lying to clients about Sophie's absences, even dipping into his savings to cover her missed deadlines. Over time, he started questioning his own boundaries. Was he too rigid, too demanding? That's the trap. Their impulsivity conditions you to tolerate more than you should, to normalize their recklessness as your responsibility. In 2025, this pattern is amplified by a world that glorifies hustle and spontaneity. Social media celebrates the live in the moment mantra. But when that moment leaves you holding the bag, it's not freedom, it's exploitation. So, how do you break free? The Stoics teach us that clarity comes from observation, not emotion. Start by tracking the fallout. If someone's impulsivity consistently leaves you cleaning up their mess, write it down. James kept a log of Sophie's broken promises, and the pattern was undeniable. She wasn't unlucky. She was reckless by design. Next, set firm boundaries. If they ask for a favor, say, "I can help once, but I need a plan for repayment." If they flake, don't cover for them. Let them face the consequences. This isn't harsh, it's fair. Finally, distance yourself from their chaos. You can't control their choices, but you can control how much you let them disrupt your life. Surround yourself with people who honor their commitments, who take responsibility for their actions, who build stability, not storms. In today's world, where we're bombarded with pressure to say yes and keep up, saying no is an act of strength. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If someone's impulsivity is pulling you into their whirlwind, step out. Choose clarity over chaos, responsibility over recklessness. Because your life isn't meant to be a cleanup crew for someone else's mess. As we near the end of this journey on ZENLIGHT 8, we'll uncover the seventh sign, one that turns the world upside down, weaponizing chaos to keep you lost and them in control. In a world where most of us crave peace, a quiet moment with a coffee, a steady rhythm to our days, there are those who thrive on the opposite. They don't just live in chaos, they create it. Not because they're out of control, but because chaos is how they control you. It's like walking into a room where the furniture's been rearranged, the lights flicker, and the air feels thick with tension, and they're the ones who flip the switch. Welcome to the seventh sign of a psychopath on ZENLIGHT, weaponizing. Chaos. This isn't about random drama or messy emotions. It's about a calculated strategy to keep you off balance, questioning your reality, and dependent on the very person pulling the strings. On this channel, we're here to shine a light through that fog, to help you reclaim your clarity and build a life rooted in truth. Imagine Anna, a marketing manager from San Francisco. She worked with Ethan, a colleague who seemed brilliant, but unpredictable. He'd spark arguments in team meetings, pitting co-workers against each other with subtle jabs or misquotes. He'd tell Anna that their boss thought her ideas were uninspired, then tell the boss Anna was frustrated with his leadership. Suddenly, the office was a minefield of mistrust, and Ethan was the only one who seemed calm, offering Anna advice to navigate the mess. She didn't realize he was the one planting the mines. Psychopaths don't just stir the pot, they engineer storms, creating confusion so they can emerge as the only stable point. They spark conflicts, twist conversations, and sow doubt, all while staying untouched by the fallout. Their chaos isn't accidental, it's a stage, and you're an unwitting actor in their play. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." This isn't about blame, it's about power. Psychopaths know that chaos disorients, and a disoriented mind is easier to control. They'll provoke you, then call you dramatic for reacting. They'll start a fight between friends, then play the peacemaker. They'll twist your words until you're apologizing for things you never said. And the genius of their strategy is how they stay above it all, watching you scramble while they adjust their tactics. In 2025, with social media amplifying drama and misinformation, this tactic is more potent than ever. A psychopath might start a rumor on X, spark a group chat feud, or post a vague TikTok that leaves everyone guessing, all to keep you reacting, defending, explaining. Anna didn't see it at first, caught up in the whirlwind of office drama, but the truth was undeniable. Ethan wasn't just a bystander in the chaos, he was its architect. Psychopaths don't stumble into conflict, they design it, crafting a world where confusion is their currency and your disorientation is their power. They'll whisper half-truths to one friend, twist your words to another, and watch as the tension ripples outward, leaving you scrambling to mend relationships or defend your intentions. And while you're caught in the storm, they stand calmly, at the center, offering clarity that only deepens your dependence on them. This is the seventh sign of a psychopath on ZENLIGHT, weaponizing chaos. It's not about messy emotions or random outbursts. It's a deliberate strategy to keep you lost, questioning your reality while they pull every string. On this channel, we're here to cut through that fog, to arm you with the tools to reclaim your peace and live with purpose. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught us, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. This isn't about blaming yourself, it's about recognizing your power to step out of their game. Psychopaths thrive on chaos because it disorients you, making you easier to control. They'll spark an argument, then call you dramatic for reacting. They'll pit you against others, then play the neutral party who just wants to help. They'll twist your words until you're apologizing for things you never said, all while they remain untouched, calculating their next move. In 2025, this tactic is supercharged by our digital world. A psychopath might post a cryptic X status that stirs up drama, start a group chat feud with a single misquote, or share a TikTok that subtly undermines you, all designed to keep you on edge, reacting while they stay in control. Anna's breaking point came when she overheard Ethan telling a coworker she'd dropped the ball on a project she'd never been assigned. When she confronted him, he didn't flinch. "You're too sensitive," he said with a smirk. "Everyone else gets it. Why don't you?" That moment wasn't just hurtful, it was revealing. His chaos wasn't accidental, it was his weapon. The danger lies in how this isolates you. By sowing discord between you and your friends, your colleagues, even your own thoughts, they ensure you turn to them for stability. Anna started doubting her coworkers, her judgment, her place in the team, until Ethan's advice felt like her only anchor. That's the trap. They make themselves the eye of the storm, the one constant in a world they've turned upside down. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But when a psychopath weaponizes chaos, they cloud your thoughts, leaving you lost in a maze of their design. So how do you break free in a world where drama spreads faster than a viral reel? Start by stepping back. If every conflict seems to trace back to one person, if their presence leaves you drained or defensive, that's not coincidence, it's design. Anna began mapping out the office conflicts, noting how Ethan's name appeared at the heart of everyone. That clarity was her lifeline. Next, refuse to engage. Don't argue, don't explain, don't try to untangle their knots. Silence is your shield. Let their chaos collapse without your participation. Try this. The next time drama erupts, pause and ask, who benefits from this confusion? If the answer points to them, step away. Finally, rebuild your trust network. Connect with people who bring calm, not conflict, who value truth over drama. In today's world, where notifications ping and tempers flare, choosing peace is a radical act. Your mind is your sanctuary, not their playground. Protect it by seeing the chaos for what it is, a tool, not a coincidence. As Seneca said, there is no chaos in the mind of a wise man. If someone's presence leaves you disoriented, if their drama feels like a script you didn't write, step off the stage. Choose clarity, choose truth, and choose yourself. We've walked through a journey together on ZENLIGHT 8, peeling back the layers of 7 signs that reveal not just the presence of a psychopath, but the subtle, insidious ways they threaten your peace. From the seductive pull of superficial charm to the disorienting fog of pathological lies, from the cold void of their lack of empathy to the relentless cycle of harm without remorse, from their parasitic drain on your heart and wallet to their reckless impulsivity, and finally their calculated weaponization of chaos. These are not just traits, but warnings, signals that your mind, your spirit, your life deserve protection. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. It's about recognizing that you have the power to see through their masks, to trust your instincts, and to choose your path with clarity and strength. Each story we've shared, Sarah's heartbreak, Alex's confusion, Emily's betrayal, Michael's loss, Laura's depletion, James's exhaustion, Anna's isolation, is a mirror reflecting not just the pain of manipulation, but the resilience it takes to break free. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength is yours, waiting to be claimed. In a world that moves faster than ever in 2025, where charm can be curated, lies can go viral, and chaos can be a click away, your greatest ally is your ability to pause, observe, and choose. These signs aren't just red flags, they're a call to action, a reminder that your peace is non-negotiable, your worth is unshakable, and your life is yours to shape. So as we close this chapter, let's not just walk away with knowledge, let's walk away with resolve. Resolve to trust your gut when it whispers that something's off. Resolve to set boundaries that protect your heart. Resolve to surround yourself with people who lift you up, not tear you down. Because you're not here to survive manipulation. You're here to thrive, to build a life of purpose, connection, and truth. Let's carry that forward, starting right now. Right now, in the hustle and noise of 2025, where every notification demands your attention and every interaction feels like a performance, these 7 signs are more than warnings. They're a roadmap to protect your peace and reclaim your power. Start small, but start today. Keep a journal, not to obsess, but to anchor yourself in truth. When someone's charm feels too perfect, when their words don't match their actions, write it down. Track the patterns. Did their affection fade when you said no? Did their promises dissolve when you needed them most? That clarity is your shield. Next, trust your body. That tightness in your chest, that uneasy feeling when someone rewrites your reality or stirs up drama. It's not doubt, it's wisdom. The Stoics believed our instincts often see what our minds haven't yet processed. Honor them. In a world of curated Instagram lives and TikTok personas, where everyone's selling a version of themselves, your gut is your compass. Set boundaries like they're sacred, because they are. Say no without guilt. Limit your time with those who drain you. Protect your energy like it's a finite resource, because in today's always-on world, it is. If you're already caught in someone's chaos, don't wait for their apology or their change. They won't come. Step back, even if it's hard, even if it feels selfish. It's not. It's survival, and it's the first step toward thriving. Surround yourself with people who own their mistakes, who share your values, who make you feel seen without taking from you. Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom starts with choosing who gets access to your heart, your time, your trust. In 2025, that choice is your superpower. Use it to build a life that reflects your truth, not someone else's script. You're not here to fix others or endure their storms. You're here to live fully, to love deeply, to stand firm in who you are. Start now, one small act of courage at a time.